Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Gabbing with Oof with your host, your friendly neighborhood Oof man. And sorry it took forever to record this episode 7, baby, 7 of the Gabbing with Oof series. Again, long story short, extracurricular activities in life, and battling a sore throat that I was losing big time, but I am finally back with all you awesome luchadors and luchadorettes out there as well. Thank you so much for everybody who's checked out the other videos. On that note, I've been also doing a lot of appearances in other people's videos. Check out NoDQ.com's YouTube channel. I've been on there for predictions, for panel reviews, a panel discussion series that's going on. So check it out, NoDQ.com. Check out their YouTube channel. I've made some appearances there. And again, not the full reason why I didn't record a new episode, but just a reason. Not the, but a. So finally, we are back together here in the land of Oofmania, and to discuss what I'm finally promising we're going to discuss, the state of the union right now, the current status of AEW. Now, watching the Dynamites now, we are about a couple weeks away, 3 Saturdays away, from July 12th, their big show in Texas, All In Texas. And that's going to be the focus on today, not only All In, but the current status, like I said, of AEW. And so let's get right to it. So the first thing I got to talk about that I think all fans are tired of and their patience are running low on, I know mine is the main event scene, the world title picture. Hangman Adam Page won the Owen Hart Cup tournament. He now has a title shot at All In against champion Jon Moxley. And like I said, I think us fans have reached a boiling point where enough is enough. Those of us that watch AEW religiously, I've been watching since day one. Yes, they have their good times. Yes, they have their bad times. I think we've hit a point in our relationship where I am close to losing my wrestling fandom patience with this storyline, and I just want to see it end. I think it's time. It's been, I think, since October that Jon Moxley's been champion, but it's not the fact that Jon Moxley is champion that I have a problem with. It's just that this Death Rider storyline. Now, again, like I mentioned in other videos, let's go to the past a little bit. It seemed like when this Death Riders thing started with Jon Moxley, there was a big reveal coming to AEW, and I joined everybody else reading the reports online that it looked like it was going to be Shane McMahon. A McMahon was going to come into AEW, was going to go down to Jacksonville and join the league, and so I was against it because what can Shane McMahon bring to the table except buzz and 1 week of ratings bump? Shane hasn't been, Shane is Shane. We love Shane in the WWE and all that jazz, but it was 2024 then. Now it's 2025. I don't think Shane would have sustained this momentum that Tony was thinking of creative was thinking of. That like, oh, it's Shane McMahon in AEW. The ratings are going to explore. I highly doubt that. I'm sorry. I just that 1 week would have gotten a pop. The following week, we've got another pop to see what's Shane here for, and then we're back to the status quo of AEW. So looking back at this Death Rider storyline, it seemed like that was part of the gimmick, but then something happened that it fell through, and there were so many opportunities that Tony Khan could have pivoted, could have been like, all right, let's do a 180, let's get away from this and put the belt on somebody else, give them a short title reign, have somebody else defeat him. He never did. And they rolled with this Death Riders thing. They're still rolling with it. And then all eyes were perhaps Darby Allin was going to take the title from Moxley. Okay, cool. But then the rumors started up again that Darby Allin was going to climb Mount Everest. So, all right. He was going to climb it in March. So here we are now in 2025. And the reports were true. There he is, climbing Mount Everest. So the question us fans were asking ourselves were, is Tony Khan insane to hold Moxley dropping the title to give it to Darby whenever the hell he climbs back down from Mount Everest? Even if does he make the climb? Will he make it? We've heard if you look up Mount Everest on Google and climbers, it's not the ratio of successful to unsuccessful is dangerously big. And so we were worried. I was worried, like, all right, good luck. May God be with Darby Allin. But for those watching along, he made the climb. It was a success. He made it to the top. He didn't plant the AEW flag, but he held the AEW flag in the air. They took a photo of it. But then he had to make the climb back down from the mountain. So more time was being delayed. And now, as of today of this recording, Darby Allin has not only cleared the mountain, but he cleared the, let's call it the mountain drop, I guess, therapy or whatever it's called. And so he is clear from the mountain. So as we head over to All In, again, I think for this year, because I don't think they have it set in stone what their equivalent to WrestleMania is. So for this year, All In seems to be their big show of the year. We are having Hangman and Moxley go at it. So the $1 million question, should it happen at All In? And I am punching that big button that's written with the letter YES on it. I keep looking at that All In logo, and it's a belt buckle, a cowboy belt buckle. Give the fans a awesome moment. I don't know how many tickets are being sold right now, but they have a lot of people filling in that arena, that stadium, I should say. And like I said, a couple weeks ago, they're starting to sign more matches. Fans are going to get interested more. More tickets will be sold. Good for AEW. But it's time. Now, no perfect setting. The cowboy defeats the evil villain. That's cowboys and cowboy movies from the 50s and 60s. That's how it was. The cowboy rolls into town and defeats the villain, the villainous bad guy. So I say do it. Do it, Tony Khan. You can do it. You can pull the trigger, no pun intended, but you can pull the trigger. Give them a wonderful moment. So as far as, again, early predictions, well, I'll talk about All In later on, but early predictions, it's going to be a disastrous, overbooked match. I do see Darby coming back and helping Hangman. I do see Will Ospreay, the Ops, all of them helping them out. Swerve is still going to be on the fence on helping Hangman, because remember, he did burn his house, so don't blame him. But in the end, Swerve does the right thing. But when it looks like, again, the numbers are against Hangman, Darby comes and helps him out. And then Hangman Adam Page becomes your new AEW World Champion and All In. And after what happened in the last episode of Dynamite where Moxley choked him out, Moxley's always seems to be getting the one-ups on him because, again, Page is all alone. But the Ops helped out this time. Will Ospreay helped him this big time. So we'll see what happens. But I think that is the road there. But, again, all eyes are going to be on Texas to finally see not only Moxley lose, but to finally see the AEW title. Now, another question that's roaming around the internet. Since we haven't seen the title, it's allegedly in the briefcase that Moxley walks around and Mina Shavira has. Will we see a new AEW title? My answer is I hope not, because of all the championships in wrestling, the AEW World Heavyweight title is the most beautiful one. The WWE title is just a big logo. The World Heavyweight title is just a smaller logo. I don't even know what the TNA one looks like. The ROH, I don't know. The NXT, and New Japan's looks like a mini butterfly. The mini women's, the Divas title from back in the day. I like their previous one. So of all the heavyweight championship belts that are out there, I do believe the AEW one is the most beautiful. Not in my collection yet. We'll see what happens. But it's time. Tony Khan, if you're listening, I don't know if you are. If you are, please, Tony, do it. And again, predictability is not a bad thing as long as the story is good. And that's what it's all about. People like to accuse AEW of not having stories. Well, this is a story, but this is a story that's not working. So there's a difference between not having stories and having stories that do or don't work. And in this situation, they have a story that just isn't working. And again, all companies fall into this sin. It's not just AEW. So right now, for just going to deprive off of this video talking about AEW, let's talk about WWE real fast on an example of how a story leading to a match can affect my interest in the match. So recently, Gunther reclaimed the World Heavyweight title. Congratulations to Gunther. Cool. And then he was challenged by Goldberg. Okay. So the story is Goldberg allegedly was owed one more match, his retirement match, by the previous administration, VKM himself. All right, that's the story. Goldberg is owed one more match. Cool. How they got there. So on Raw, Gunther was bragging how he's the new World Heavyweight Champion. Goldberg simply comes out and he challenges Gunther. And he says, Gunther, you're next. And he leaves. That's it. If he was out there 3 minutes, I think that was too much. And so here we are at home going like, okay, Gunther versus Goldberg. Is it for the world title? Because Gunther didn't say I want another title match. He said, he just said, Gunther, you're next. And then later on, if you were paying attention, on the bottom of the screen, not mine, but on the bottom of the TV screen, there's a graphic making it official. Gunther versus Goldberg. Oh, and the words World Heavyweight Championship match is on there. So through a graphic, you announced it being a world title. And then another layer on this disgustingly weird tasting cake. WWE sends out a press release announcing it will be Goldberg's last match. So you have Goldberg come out on Raw with brand new merch, and the shirt says, I think, Goldberg's last run or something like that, or final dance, I don't know, something saying the end. He doesn't mention it. Gunther doesn't mention it. The graphic doesn't mention it. A press release a day or two later announces the stipulation. And again, I wasn't craving for Goldberg, period, against anybody. But when the rumors were circulating, it's going to be him and Gunther. All right. Again, how are you going to get there? And this was 100% zero creativity behind this announcement, this match. And again, that's what I'm talking about. You can have a match. That's great. But what about what? It's all about the journey to the match. Will the match be good? Less than 5 minutes. Please, baby Jesus, I hope it's less than 5 minutes. Let it be 3 minutes, even less than 3 minutes, whatever. But again, though, it's all about the story. It's all about getting there. So one example I used a while back was the MCU. We're talking about the Infinity Stones saga. Say what you will about the Marvel movies now, but let's talk about that era. In my personal opinion, all those movies were either really good, damn good, or holy crap, they're freaking phenomenal. Then there was a couple poopers in there, which maybe one day I'll do my top. I'll rank the movies, maybe. But overall, the movies were phenomenal. And again, leading us to the ending, no pun intended, the end game. And so the introduction of Thanos, the introduction of the stones, the introduction of the new characters, the villains. It built up to Infinity War. It left us hanging for one whole year. What's going to happen? Half the population got destroyed, got snapped. They gave us Endgame, and it was a chef's kiss. A beautiful, perfect, yes, I will say perfect ending to that saga of the MCU. And again, that's the hype. The story, the journey should hype you for the match. Even though I wasn't hyped, and I'm still not hyped for Gunther and Goldberg, win me over. And the way this has been hyped, they didn't. I don't watch Saturday night's main events, and I'm definitely not going to watch this one. Not for Goldberg. All right, his last match in Atlanta, cool, where he pinned Hogan in the Georgia Dome, 40,000 people. Should have been on pay-per-view. Come on, Bischoff. Fine. He was owed a retirement match. Fine. Get me interested. And like I said, I think the previous regime made him that promise, and if, again, growing up in the Attitude Era, if you read the reports and the rumors, we all know that Hunter wasn't a fan of Goldberg. How are they now? They're probably cordial. They're probably just like a hey, and that's it. I doubt they're going out and sharing a beer or two. I doubt it. So I think Papa H just went, all right, this guy keeps going on interviews saying, I'm owed a match. I need a retirement match. Let's get it done. So creative was, ironically, not creative. And so here we go. Now, playing Monday morning quarterback on today's a Friday, what would I have done? Well, have Goldberg show up and face Gunther face to face, congratulating him, saying, "Oh, you won the title back, congratulations," and do what he did on that Raw, where he's like, you made fun of my family, you made fun of me, and I'm not gonna take it, and say the same thing. Gunther, you're next, and then have Gunther laugh in his face, pat him on the shoulder, and walk away. saying like, no, it's not going to happen. And Goldberg let them stand there. Throughout the night, you can have Goldberg on vignettes or backstage just saying, come on, Gunther, you're a coward, la, 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 la. So the main event should go to Gunther. He comes out, and he's like, wow, Goldberg at age, whatever, how old he is, he wants to challenge me to a match. I have my answer. He calls out Goldberg. Goldberg comes back out. And Gunther says something like, so, you want to face me? And Goldberg says, yeah, you're next. And Gunther goes, you want to be World Heavyweight Champion one more time? And Goldberg says, yes, you're next. And the crowd is getting crazy, like, oh my gosh, is he gonna accept? And then Gunther goes, fine. You and me, one last time for my World Heavyweight Championship, under one condition. And Goldberg nods. Gunther says, if you beat me, you will become the new World Heavyweight Champion. But if I beat you, your career is over. Boom. Predictability is not a bad thing. Yes, some of us fans knew, and Goldberg's gone on interviews. It's not like he's hiding it. We knew that he was going to retire. He was owed one more match. So why not put it into the storyline? So there you go. I'm intrigued. Okay. Goldberg Gunther for the title. Would Goldberg really win? I know he was owed one more match. But would he actually win? Would he pull a John Cena, what Cena's trying to do? Retire as the real world champion? Would Goldberg retire in Atlanta in his final match, defeating Gunther and walking out the World Heavyweight Champion? I'm intrigued now. But that was my idea. I'm not intrigued with how they did it. And so again, let's go back to AEW. That's what it's all about, being intrigued to the story. Now, talk about being intrigued and invested. Let's talk about the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, Timeless Toni Storm, defending against 17,000 belt Mercedes Moné. This past Dynamite, Mercedes got one up on Toni. And Mina came to help her out, and it's on. Mercedes isn't laughing anymore. This is going to be a great match at All In. Okay. It was also announced in that show that Mina gets a TBS title match at next week's Dynamite, which is the 300th episode of Dynamite. Now, we're going to be 2 Saturdays away from All In. Would they pull the trigger on Mercedes losing the TBS title? I'm going to go with, please, baby God, yes, do it. Because if she beats Mina, walks into All In, the TBS champion, and all those other titles, and wins the women's world title, she's keeping the titles hostage. And again, I'm tired of this whole Mercedes Hogan stuff. If a company wants to give a wrestler their belt, who is the wrestler to say no? Maybe she did say no to these other companies. Like, maybe not. Word is that she wanted to actually fight Athena and have Athena go over, but I don't think Mercedes went, no, I'm going over. So all you schmucks out there with your Mercedes Hogan crap, give it a rest. I'm tired of hearing it. Sorry, focus it back on. So, have Mina defeat Mercedes, and it has to be Toni costing her, or somehow helping Mina. Even though Mina said stay away, we'll see what happens. But if you have Mina beat Mercedes, now that brings a little doubt into their match at All In, where, wow, Mercedes can be beat. Can they go back to back on Mercedes? Mina defeats her, and then Toni? Intrigue. It has me wondering. I'm invested. Well, I've been invested since day one with this Timeless Toni Storm character, and I love Mina. And I like Mercedes too. But now, if you have Mina win, and again, I hope she does, my intrigue level has gone off the roof, because now it's crazy unpredictable. Because going in before Wednesday, I'm like, yeah, all right, Mercedes wins another belt, yawn. But if you actually have her lose for the first time in, what is she, like almost 30-0? whoa, she can be beat. She's human after all. Yeah, how about them apples? All right. Intrigue, investment. That is what it's all about. Where they failed miserably with Goldberg and Gunther. On the flip side, and where AEW has not failed yet, but just disappointed me with this Death Riders thing. Through the ashes, this phoenix rises of the women having my intrigue. But again, I'm invested right now. I will be even more invested come Wednesday if Mina does defeat Toni Storm. If she can beat her, then I am crazy more invested to All In. Speaking of invested and what's going to happen, we had the Hurt Syndicate come out and basically they have been destroying all competition in AEW for tag teams. And this past Wednesday, MVP was like, if there's a team out there who's tough enough, who's got the cojones, so to speak, to come challenge my boys coming out now. And how interesting having FTR and the Young Bucks in the building, they didn't come out. Now, you can say, well, logic says we don't want to see heels versus heels, but let's keep it real. The Hurt Syndicate are faces, basically. But logic also says, oh, wait a minute, if I'm FTR, my mission is to get back the tag titles. Why wouldn't I give it a shot? I know. Thinking logical in an illogical situation. Guilty. I know. So the question is, what happens to the tag titles? They've gone through everybody. And without talking about FTR and the Young Bucks, who is there to take the titles from the Hurt Syndicate? I think only one team. They haven't been together for a pretty long time, and we haven't seen them wrestle together. They've wrestled against each other, but we haven't seen them together, united as a unit in AEW. Who do I see taking the tag titles from the Hurt Syndicate? A reunited Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. All Out is on September 25th in Toronto, Canada. So that's about less than 3 months away. Again, intrigue, investment. Can Tony Khan somehow come up with something creative to unite, let's call them CNC, Cope and Cage, have them unite and go after the tag titles and let them have one more run before either one of them, most likely Copeland, calls it a career? 3 months is plenty of time. Copeland is due back anytime soon. Cage is having some beef with his son, Nick Wayne, somewhat. Maybe there's a split there and Cage is on his own, and then look who's there to console him or look who's there to offer him a deal. But Adam Copeland. All Out, Toronto, Tag Team Championship. Champions, Hurt Syndicate versus challengers, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage. Again, I came up with that quick little thing for Goldberg and Gunther. I can't think of anything how to reunite those two men. Somehow bring up the past. Somehow they get beat up. I don't know, but just again, that's why I'm not in creative. I'm just a guy on YouTube giving my opinion. It's just that it is an opinion. But how cool would it be? Again, giving the fans, again, not necessarily giving the fans what we want, giving the fans a good feeling, especially in a packed place. Hangman winning the world title in Texas? Yeah. Just now imagine Copeland and Cage winning the tag titles. First time in AEW and first time ever for another company, or just first time tag team champion since who knows when, in Toronto. That crowd will eat it up. And now you got new storylines, you have new visions. And again, that's what it's all about. The vision, the investment, getting people to watch. I've been watching AEW since day one. I will be curious, all right, if I start seeing, whoa, Cope and Cage are talking. We'll see. And one more note for All In real fast. If it's announced that the women's match is last on the pay-per-view, I don't know who goes over, honestly. That just means that the men's world title is not last. There, I think, unfortunately, Moxley will go over. If the men's match is the last match of the night, give us what we would like to see, Tony Khan. Give us Hangman Adam Page defeating the Death Rider storyline and Jon Moxley. Everything's being defeated here. And we have the feel-good moment of Hangman holding the title. And we go off the air with the pyro, the fans going crazy. And we have a new champion, but new storylines, new visions, new investments. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with... You don't have to go on TV and admit you were wrong. No. Just notice, like, all right, this seriously is not working. Let's go 180. Let's curve to the left or the right. And just do it. No explanation needed. So I believe that that's what should happen in All In. So that's just the current status of AEW. I might do another one as time goes on, and I'll definitely do an All In predictions video myself. Because, like I said, we have 2 more Dynamites and 2 more Collisions until All In, and we'll see where the company goes. Next week is their 300th episode. There's a lot of matches there. The one that my eyes are going to be locked on, is Mercedes versus Mina. I would like to see Mina take the title. So again, new investment, new visions, new storylines. But then I'm now going to be highly more, like I said earlier, invested more in her and Tony's match against Mercedes. I'm not saying wrestling booking is easy, because I know it's not, but just the small little, quick little details will make it fun. It'll make it easier for us to follow. But most importantly, get people. It's all about the investment. It's all about the journey to get there. I know, we all know AEW does great pay-per-views. They're going to do another great one and All In. But it's the investment to get there. Get more people invested. You already have the hardcore fan base that are going to watch. Get more eyeballs on there, but get us, even though we're going to watch no matter what, get us really hyped for it. Right now, I'm just like, yeah, I'm excited for All In. I'm not hyped for it. I'm just excited for it. Hype me up, Tony. Hype up the rest of the AEW fans that have been loyal to you since day one. Again, don't bow down to our demands. This is not a demand. This is just a one storyline where I just hope it's what happens because it's time. Again, I think since October or last fall, this Death Riders thing has, no pun intended, lived a death. It's just not working. And all arrows are pointing, hopefully, I know I sound like a broken record. I said that a couple times in the past pay-per-view reviews. But hopefully, finally, at All In, Texas, this Death Riders is put 6 feet under. All we can do is hope. All we can do is watch. And all we can do is just wait till the 12th and see what happens. Again, thank you guys so much for dealing with my lateness on this video. If you've watched all the rest of my videos, I again thank you so much for it. More content on the way, as now I do have more time now. I can schedule things. And the next big thing, again, I'll probably do another All-In video, most likely a predictions video with what happens definitely next week. And, of course, with All-In happening in a couple 2 weeks. If you like what you see and you like what's going on, gab about it in the comments section. What do you think? What do you want to see for All-In? What are your predictions for the title match, for the women's match? Who do you think should beat the Hurt Syndicate for the tag titles? Gab about it in the comments section. If you like what you saw, please hit that thumbs up on this video. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. So when I do upload other videos, you get a notification. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much. On behalf of everybody here in Oofmania at Oofman Entertainment, thank you for watching. Please take care of yourself, everybody around you. And, of course, as always, God bless.